And at least 32 people have been wounded after 2 bombs exploded during a boxing competition in the central Philippines. This morning, police recovered a mortar cartridge and a cell phone apparently used to detonate the homemade bomb. Now, no one has claimed responsibility for the attack. Very, very cold, an absolute shock to the system, especially if you've been inside like most of us have. And something else to really think about as you step out into these bitterly cold temperatures are the sidewalks. Because of the fresh snow, there is absolutely a sheet of ice in some spots because of black ice that's formed, as Mike said, because as soon as it hits the ground, it basically freezes. So you need to be extremely careful if you're walking to a bus stop or if you have to walk to your car because it's parked outside. Best choice for a family car depends a lot on your family and your budget, but if you start with Consumer Reports' short list of highly rated cars that are also practical, durable, comfortable, and safety conscious, picking the right wheels for your crew can be a snap. Well, Deb, Jack, flyers like this are up at businesses all over Northwest Dayton as family and friends try to find Amber Owens. Now, they're very upset by this whole thing. We did talk with the father and her twin sister, and tonight they are very shaken up. This is the spot where Daryl Taylor found Amber's car several days ago, just sitting along the street on Arlene.
The family just wants for my daughter to come home.
He'd been driving around for days looking, hoping to find her okay.
I don't think she'd just go out and not come back.
It's been 22 days since anyone has seen the 23-year-old mother of 3 small children. It's as if she simply vanished. Alicia Owens is her twin sister, a spitting image. She says they spoke every day, several times a day.
She would have called my grandparents. She wouldn't have just left her boys like that.
Alicia says they had gotten together with friends just hours before Amber disappeared, and every day that goes by, she can't help but think something bad has happened.
I hugged her and stroked her hair, told her I loved her, and told her to call me on her way home.
That call never came.
That morning at 4:30, I woke up knowing something was wrong. I already knew it.
This is crazy. This is crazy. The tears are not because I'm afraid anything is really wrong with her for real. I miss her.
Everyone does, especially her kids.
Her youngest son clings to me because I look so much like Amber. He misses her. Sometimes I can't even go to my grandparents' house because I see her car thinking she's home. And I know she's not coming back.
Now the family of Amber Owens will be searching for that 23-year-old young mother this Friday at 11 o'clock. They're meeting at a family business. It's called Health Alternatives on North Main Street in Clayton. If you'd like to help them, of course, you can come out and join them. Also, if you have any information about the disappearance of Amber Owens, you're asked to call the sheriff's office. Well, Clyde, the video we're about to show you might be a little disturbing, but it'll help you understand why Diane feels so very, very fortunate after a large sheet of ice flew off a truck like one going down the interstate every single day and flew right through her windshield, torpedoing right through it.
I just sat there because it was like 6 feet in front of me. There was nothing I could do.
In just a few seconds, 67-year-old Diane Johnson was cut, bruised, and black and blue.
It impacted the car, and I think I ducked my head and closed my eyes.
Believe it or not, Johnson is healing, looking and feeling a lot better after a large sheet of ice flew off a truck straight into her car's windshield Friday in Indiana. That so-called ice missile nearly blew her world apart.
And I just held onto the steering wheel and pushed both my feet on the brakes so I could stop and go in a straight line so I wouldn't hit anyone else.
She was hit and hit hard. This is video of her car with a gaping hole directly in front of where she was sitting. And this picture was taken of her by her sister shortly after she was rushed to the hospital.
Opened my eyes and there was a big hole in the windshield and there was ice in the seat and ice in the back. And I looked at myself. There was glass and ice all over me, and my face felt wet, and I touched it, and I was full of blood.
She got out of her car and tried to flag down several people to help, but many just kept going. But one man who had been behind her did stop.
He got out, and he had a bottle of water and a towel with him. And he said, I just called 911. They're on their way. They're going to help you. Calm down, relax.
His name is Stan, and she wants to thank him after by far one of the most scariest rides of her life.
I have a few times seen little pieces of snow come off people's cars on the road, but nothing like this. It had to be at least 3 feet wide and 4 or 5 feet long. You know, because it looked like a missile coming right at me.
Deb, on some weekends, as many as 10 people end up dying from heroin overdoses and end up here at the county morgue. From all walks of life, all ages, and some come from neighborhoods just like yours.
9511, can I get next count case number?
From the moment veteran Montgomery County Deputy Fred Zollers gets to work, His mission is rounding up
All crime is related to drug activity in some way.
drug dealers and users flocking to our area for a hit.
Down 70, east and west, you've got narcotics going one way, currency going the other way. And obviously, with Dayton being so close, it's distributed out in the city of Dayton.
Heroin, the latest epidemic, a cheap high that's killed 180 people in the county from January to June this year. A 17-year-old was the youngest, the oldest, almost 70.
I've been trying to chill, lay back. I've been out the way for a good minute. Like, no warrants, no nothing.
Michael Faircloth used to sell it until he got popped and spent several years locked down.
At the time when you thinking about it, it's about money. Like, it's either me or them. Like, they gonna get it for somebody else.
He says his life in the drug game is over. He was arrested this time for a probation violation. Plenty of others have taken his place, though, and many people are fed up.
You'll have individuals calling in saying that there's a car parked in the middle of the street just serving cars up in a line.
Zollers and others in his unit are constantly on the lookout for suspicious activity. A broken headlight and a car with West Virginia tags caught Detective Zoller's attention. Then he checked a woman inside the car who was arrested, had a warrant for her arrest out of Champaign County. And the woman driving the car, her story just didn't seem to add up.
We just dropped a friend of ours off, D, at his grandma's. That's where he said his grandma lived, and trying to find the way back to Interstate. That was it.
How long have you been hooked on heroin?
I'm not hooked on heroin. I'm not.
Why do you have track marks?
There are old track marks.
As Zollers and another deputy were arresting the passenger, Deputy Zollers stops dead in his tracks.
Open your mouth. Open your mouth. Now. Spit it out.
I don't have nothing.
It shows you reaching into the front, okay, because you've got no pockets here other than here. You're reaching right here, and it shows you throw something in your mouth. When I came up to you, you would not lift your tongue up, and I could see your throat, the swallowing is what you were doing. So just stop lying to yourself and to me so we can get you some help. She never did admit that she took something, although her friend told deputies they both had used 2 times that day. Deputy Zollers decided to take her to the hospital just in case. She appeared to walk inside, but like many, she knows she has a long, long walk ahead as she tries to stay clean. Is this the hardest thing you've ever done, kick this drug?
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
You fight it every day?
Yeah. Yeah.
You fight the urge every single day?
Just about.
Now, the unit believes they're making a major dent in the heroin trade with drug sweeps and lots of arrests leading sometimes to hefty jail sentences, they say. And that is just the beginning. Well, Clyde, the man who owns this business right behind me is more than happy that police are picking up the people he calls druggies who have been breaking into his business and chasing away his customers. Lance Sharp has been keeping motorists rolling around Covington for 2 years now. But he's concerned if break-ins continue, his tire business will quickly go flat.
It's been a big nuisance. I try to run this business as best I can, and I get guys like this that are on drugs that want to come in and steal all my tools, which cost me money out of my pocket.
Late Thursday afternoon, Sharp watched as area law enforcement searched by air. And on the ground, dropping a dragnet looking for more than 40 street-level drug dealers, searching homes, collecting evidence, and taking suspects away in handcuffs. For one woman, her curiosity led to her arrest.
Officers were making an unrelated traffic stop, and a bystander walked up and inquired as to what was going on with the stop. It turned out that that young lady was one of our wanted subjects, wanted for trafficking prescription medications, 3 counts. So we were able to serve that warrant.
By nightfall, police had made more than a half-dozen arrests. Their work, though, was far from over.
Most of these complaints came from our citizens, and we've tried to respond to them as best we can. Well, it's a problem everywhere, and it's one that our community has very aggressively been addressing.
Sharp is glad they're aggressively addressing the issue. He says not only did he have to endure a break-in, but the crook even tried to torch his place.
The fire has caused me 30 days of being down, which I lost money, lost customers. Now I'm trying to bring it back, and it's just been a big nuisance. It's been a problem.
Now, so far, at least a half a dozen people have been arrested. We're still waiting on an update of those numbers. We also want to point out to you that a number of the people that there are warrants out for are not Covington residents, and police tell us it'll take probably a month to get all of those 42 people into custody. Reporting live in Covington, Natasha Williams, 9 on your side.